if you talk about the challenges, the drinking water will be one of the major challenge. The only challenge with how do we really make so the billions of people drink water, which is drink. So that is a huge challenge which we need to address on a radical front. So, and to me, as I feel, it's equally important whenever, I mean, together with the buzz of climate change, we need to this because climate change and water resources, these two are very closely interlinked. So we need to burn for clean drinking water. So that's the buzz. So, and then clean, when you talk about clean drinking water, we need to really try to, I mean, we need to solve the problems. Okay. So before we take up a new issues altogether, because we see, for example, in India, this groundwater fluoride issue, which is covering up a major part of the country where we have high fluoride drinking water sources. And we know it, we just radically implement some projects with not so much of rigor, you know. By rigor, I mean that the practice of like the thing which I'm preaching right now, drinking water safety planning, management, and all. So these are the aspects which we need to really move forward and try to really quantify. We have the information, water resource information system, water quality information system. If you think about the drinking water supply chain and the management, so you see that how do we resource area monitoring, then treatment technology monitoring, the distribution network monitoring, and up to the consumer tab. So these are the four things. So we need to see in a very holistic approach. So to me, a research and implementation, it's not that we have not done any research. There have been some significant research on all topics, but this is a time where we need to take a stock at them, what research information we have, and how do we move forward. It was 2008 when we had 2006 we had the International Groundwater Conference in JNU, and just after that when we launched our Groundwater Society, International Society of Groundwater for Sustainable Development, and then we thought about we should launch a journal. So we had checked with the CRC Press, and then there were some it was got reviewed, and then they turned it down. So for us, it stopped there, you know. Then neither we had time or discussion, or so we were busy in so many other things. And suddenly, in June 2014, I got a mail from Elsevier that you had in your society, we know about this society. So I think we will be interested if you can, we want to launch a new journal in collaboration with your society. But then I suddenly remembered, and it reminded me, oh yeah, we had that initial proposal submitted. So Deirdre Dunn from Elsevier, she called me. Deirdre, I have that document. Can I send the same document? I don't have time to work on it right now. But if you're looking to have a look at that, and then if you need something else, so we can do it. So then I sent it directly to her. Then she said, it looks really fine. So can we set up a contract then? So it went so smoothly. So without any hassle.
Yeah. So I mean, one question that many of young generation might be trying to know from you, that how should they evaluate their own work and choose a journal? What should be the criteria based on which they should select a journal so that they can avoid more? Of course, you cannot avoid rejection foolproof, but so that they can avoid multiple wasting time and energy on multiple rejection and staying motivated.
If a editor-in-chief who is responsible for desk rejections, so then any new submission which comes from any new name, new arena or new group, they can get rejected. Okay, so this is a question which really is a burning issues which we need to take up in the future. That are all the publications desired or required? So to what extent we need to publish and what needs to be, and to what extent these publications need to be scrutinized and not written. While selecting a journal, I would again see, again, as I'm talking about you about the fashion and trends, I would like to see that you need to see the trends, which journals people are mostly consulting, okay, for your paper to be cited or to be read, not to be cited. I mean, at the first instance, you need to read. Now, in a digital world, it doesn't matter actually where you publish. Right. Because in previously you have to go to the library, look into the Precambrian research shelf or the Scientific American shelf or some other. Now everything is in your computer, right? So there is a total shift in the paradigm. So you don't have to do that even on the some you and even in digital you don't have just type the acronym of the journal. So you are there directly, and many times you get automatic feedback that if you're looking into a topic of you're opening up of a paper by someone and related publication, you see it automatically. So now it's the things are so easy for the coming generations. It's actually the content of the paper which matters. You can publish a paper even in a non-impacted journal, but if you think in terms of over a period of years, the attention which this paper is drawing towards the journal, this paper, I mean, the content of that paper is also a long-term sustainable benefit, adds to the benefit. We need to take this publication as a business because this is our business. We are not doing any charity. We are publishing. This is a part of our task. So, and the paper is our product. So you have to sell your product. Okay, because that is the product which you have prepared is publicly funded. Think about it. So this is a point which I want to emphasize, because you are using the public money, you are producing a paper, and you have to advertise that work so that this work does a benchmark to the societal needs. Okay, so you have to do that benchmarking. It's not a show off. By no means it is show off. There is a proverb: if you have a base, if your base is strong, all structures are strong. So you need to have a sound base on both things. And I mean, in this case, base strong, I mean that the scientific base strong and the content base. Right? For example, I mean, if you think in my trajectory of my career in such, when I first started working in 2000 or 99, 2000, started working internationally, I didn't bother about the Swedish local scientific networking. Okay. So I was not in with the complying with the internal Sweden needs, that Sweden people didn't know about who is Prosun, and so on and so forth. So that was the period when I really branched out outside Sweden so that we have our network. So then you need to stabilize that. What happened? How we made the stabilization? We made this then together with Josh, and we had this international congress, the on arsenic in the environment. That was one of the outcomes. And then we also had this in Geological Society, International Geological Congress arena, where we are organized 2 times. We were on this where we had, that was the period when we first came in contact with international audience, like people like Maria Armienta Hernandez. So Maria Armienta we met in 2000, and that is today what the relation we have with Maria Armienta comes days back to then. And then we had even with Ravi Naidu, for example. Ravi Naidu we had met in Bangladesh for the first time with a collaborative network. So you can have these sort of network which really makes one. And the latest one is the Environmental and Health Science Consortium with Joseph Centeno, which is the offshoot from International Medical Geology Association, Manish. Okay, so these are the things. So we have these baseline networks, and you try to reinvent. It's not reinventing the wheel. You have to extend the wheels so that more wheels keep on growing. We need to give emphasis on the regional nodes, so their participation, their involvement, so that it serves two purposes. If somebody who doesn't wish to cite my work, but when they see Ahmed et al., they get fascinated that yes, it is Professor Motin's paper. So you are citing.
Great.
So at the other end, fact, and so you have that thing that if you have, and also it's due to diverse reasons that you have access to different papers, we have co-citations and everything. So it's beneficial, and I really strongly feel that we must promote. It's not time for us to promote myself. It is time to promote our collaborators. That's my philosophy at the point. My approach towards handling a student comes from, or is basically governed through how I liked to be governed while I was a student. Okay, so it's a direct reflection and coupling. So I wish to have much more freedom, much more own decision-making system, good amount of. So I think this individualism should be respected, and all the professors should give really a good. Although maturity takes time, so you need to have that patience within the students, so that you cannot get a high quality thing overnight. Even if for specific things to mature, it takes few weeks, say few years. For a 4 years period in Sweden is good enough time. But then again, if you're doing research capacity building, can take somewhat longer. But nothing, a mango cannot ripen before its own time. It needs that incubation time. Mango, you have to fight for the mango to ripe. So we need that time. So you have to give the student time.